My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and today's topic is the result of somebody asking a very good question, which is, why do we go cold on our partners? So I'm going to give you 5 reasons for why do we go cold on our partners. And before I do, I want to explain to you that the Marriage Foundation is very different from mainstream. We do not base anything on Western psychological principles. We don't care what happened in the past. We care about the marriage and making the marriage amazing with the power that you have vested in you with your free will, your innate wisdom, your conscience, and your ability to reason. So here we go. I'm going to go through a list, and as I go through this list, I'm going to give you insights into your marriage. I say your marriage because all marriages are the same, essentially. There's a mechanical component to marriage, just like there is for literally everything in the universe, be it material or be it spiritual. For want of a pin, the entire cosmos would collapse. Everything is exact, it's perfect. And so understanding marriage is possible. And over 20 years ago, when I was a divorce mediator, I was astounded at the people who are getting a divorce. And so I shifted my practice. And in so doing, I had to come up with realistic approach to marriage, realistic principles that make sense. Number 1, we feel abused by their overfamiliarity. Let me explain this. And this is the number 1 killer of all marriages, overfamiliarity. Why? What happens is we forget that it's our duty to win our spouse over. It's their duty too. And they also forgot. So we can't just blame them for our marriage going downhill. Virtually, not all, but the highest number of marriages imaginable are going downhill because people don't understand marriage. What is overfamiliarity anyway? It's when we are familiar with our spouse, they are familiar with you, you are familiar with them, to the point of where you start taking them for granted. You speak to them in ways that you don't even speak to your dog the same way. You're more polite, probably, to your dog, more loving. You forget. And you mistreat each other. Now, how do you stop that? It's very simple. You don't say anything to them, but you start treating them as if you want to win them back. You want to win them. Trust me, if you're feeling like they've gone cold on you, you have also gone cold on them, and now you're in a downward cycle. Not good. Correctable, very correctable. You don't need therapy, you don't need marriage counseling, it's correctable. Number 2, anger overwhelms us. In this world, it's insane, but we accept anger as part of who we are. But it isn't part of who we are. We are human beings. Human beings are very special. We're not advanced animals. It is true that our body is an advanced form of an animal body, but we're human beings. We're a soul. We have a body, we have a mind, but we're neither. Anger is part of the condition of a body. It's an instinctive reaction to danger. And the mind, the more sophisticated, the more trouble you have, interprets outer things as dangerous that aren't. And it becomes a habitual response. Anger is acceptable. And once anger comes in, thinking, reason comes to a halt. Because anger is that trigger that sets you up for war, whether it's fight or flight. And so when anger overwhelms you, you can't think. Your heart can't open. It overshadows everything. It eclipses you as a human being. What do? Well, I'm not in that school of psychology where they talk about managing your anger. I think that's nonsense. You're a human being. You have free will. You have a lot of power. You have creativity. Literally, you're able to eliminate anger from your mind. Literally. It takes time. It takes a specific kind of effort. Our courses for both men and women start out with an understanding of the mind and how to master it. This is a very important first step for improving your marriage. Now, I want to add to this that an improved marriage isn't just making a little better. Marriage is designed for unbelievable happiness. But if you don't know how to drive it, you won't get it. It's like jumping into a helicopter. Someone hands you the keys to a helicopter. Fine, you have a helicopter, you don't know how to fly it. That's how you are with your marriage. Admit it. You really don't understand marriage. The reason you don't is because none of us are taught this. I'm not blaming anyone. No one really knows. Like I said, I had to reinvent the wheel on this understanding of marriage. But the understanding I have marriage now is correct. Let's go on to number 3. We imagine a better life or a better marriage. And we're not happy with the comparison. Now, this is natural for us because we are evolutionary by nature. We always want better. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a form of greed. It is a form of evolution. It's how we're designed. It's how we're built. It's purposeful. So when you start comparing what you imagine to be a good life, a good marriage, to what you now have with bickering, arguing, bad feelings, tension, basically the absence of true joy, of course, you're going to go cold. Because what's going to happen? Again, because that drive to survive in the body is pinging the mind all the time. And what is it saying to the mind? It's saying it's not your fault. It's that guy's fault or that lady's fault. You're perfect. It's how the drive to survive works. You have to understand how it works in order for you to get control over it. Okay. You can have a better life. You can have a better marriage, but you have to know how. It doesn't just come to you. We do fall in love, and that means that there's an opening of the heart all by itself. But if you don't nurture that, love is a choice. It's much bigger than the mind, but it's a choice. And when you make that choice, you have to know how to build upon it. You know, at the Marriage Foundation, we have counseling. That's the initial, it's free. Someone writes in, this is what's happening, that's what's happening, what do you suggest? And almost all the time, unless it's easy, they will say, you know, read one of our books or take the course for men or take the course for women. And it really is all about getting educated about marriage, changing your old habits and all of that. And it isn't taught in this world, but it is very important. And it's all geared towards ever-increasing happiness and ever-expanding love. That's how your marriage should be. It truly should be. This is not pie in the sky. It's not theoretical. We've been doing this for 20 years plus. Okay, number 4. We drag ourselves around in our routine. Yeah, we get so caught up in the day-to-day that we become miserable. And the person closest to you in your environment, besides your mind, is your partner. And so what happens is they get blamed for it. You're turned off to them because they're right there. And you can't put your finger on what's going on. And what's going on is not only do you have the ability to evolve in both love and happiness to where it blows your mind constantly, evolving. But you have to know how, or life becomes stagnant, becomes routine, boring. And then, because of that drive to survive, it's a pesky thing. You can't live without it, can't live with it. Well, you can live without it if you have it under control, or live with it. Doesn't make you responsible. You don't have that information at hand. So what happens is you blame your husband or wife. And what do you do about it? Well, you learn how to be happy. You learn how to open your heart, which brings us to number 5. We forget why we got married in the first place. We got married in the first place for 2 main reasons. All the other reasons you can think of are sub-reasons. Yeah, the 2 main reasons, number 1 is you want to be happy. Duh, happier. And marriage is amazing. If you know how to run your marriage, it will provide you, exquisitely provide you, ever-increasing happiness, and the other is love. Now, if you look up love, you will see definitions like an emotion that is a very intense like. Whoa, it isn't that. It isn't that. It's not an emotion, and it's not like. What it is its own thing. You have experienced it. The mind cannot define it. The mind is of the material world. It operates mechanically. In this realm, the mind is all about cause and effect. But love transcends cause and effect. Love is. Many people say God is, and they also say God is love. Interchangeable, because it's spiritual. This is not religious. It's spiritual because you cannot quantify it in material terms. We have to have love. Because as I said in the beginning, you're a soul. You don't have a soul, by the way. I'm not calling you a soulless person. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body and you have a mind. But you have to learn these things. And this is what I learned when I saw so many people who were not staying together. I was making a lot of money helping them get a divorce. Trust me, I made a whole lot less doing this. But what happened was I realized, wow, the whole world is suffering needlessly. I started getting into it. I don't have a psych background. Some people call me doc because they think, it's a compliment and they appreciate what I provide. It's okay. I'm not a doctor, though. But what I have done is I started with the first important question. Why did you get married in the first place? And I found there is a universal answer, not a response, but an answer, meaning that it's right, it's correct. Everybody, everyone gets married because they want to be happier. Ask yourself, why did I get married? Did I want to be more miserable? Did I want to be bored? Did I want to have no fun? Did I want to go cold on my partner? No. You wanted to be happier. And marriage, I think marriage is a gift. it is an institution provided to us that provides ever-increasing happiness. Oh, the people who take our courses all attest to that. You could look at all of the testimonials we have, all of the reviews. They say the same thing. Better, way better. The other thing it provides, I think, is much more important. Love. We are souls. The soul, I call it the chip off the old block. We are essentially spiritual. We are not these bodies, and we're not the mind. We're a spiritual being who live in these bodies and possess a mind. But our essence is spiritual, love itself. But what happens is the mind gets in the way, and we don't learn how to open our heart, meaning we don't know how to nurture love. But you have that ability, it's innate, to open the heart. I say open the floodgates of your heart. Pour that liquid love onto your partner. So the first step for you, when you have this happening, where there's coldness instead of love, is you gotta get educated. Now, if your marriage is just not producing and you're not happy about it, read one of my books. It's all you need. Now, obviously, you could go the free route and read the articles, watch the videos, but it doesn't go into enough depth in a way that you get a sense of the structure. And my books are not trendy, feel-good books. It's like reading, literally, it's like reading a manual on marriage. It's a cool manual because of what marriage provides, but it's a manual on marriage. On the other hand, if you're worried that you're going to end up divorced, it's just trending and the momentum is building a negative way, then open your wallet. Get the course for men or the course for women, and we'll get you back on track rather quickly. You get the course, but you also have access to the counselors. It's all tied in, and it happens very fast. So those are the answers. I hope that you subscribe to this channel because you should get the free stuff anyway, even if you take the course. This is always good reminders. And I hope you like the video, and I hope you leave a comment, and I hope you join me again. God bless you. Thank you for your time, and take care.